look, I'm not here to piss on Brie Larson. I feel like there's been enough people that have done that on the internet so far, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about a petition that is now trying to get rid of her, because this is where we are. And it's funny to me. It's funny to me that this is where it's gotten to. And you know what? I what they're trying to do is ultimately use her logic against her, which is a fascinating play and one that I want to see if it has any actual impact. But let's take a look here. So over on Care to Petitions, we have this one that popped up saying, "Demand Captain Marvel is played by a woman of color and not Brie Larson." Now, if you know anything about the character of Captain Marvel, you know that there was Monica Rambeau played her back in the day, and that this particular version, this iteration of Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, and you'll definitely let me know, is like the 7th iteration of the character. So people are asking Marvel to kind of like move aside Brie Larson and bring in a woman who is more in tune with the original creations of the character, which, hey, listen, I'm not against that at all, 100%. I like authenticity on screen. Not necessarily a big fan of this version of Captain Marvel. And if they have a more better, badass, kind of a Pam Grier kick-ass version of the character, by all means, man. Can we get Pam Grier for that? Can that be a reality? Because I love me some Pam Grier. Or Aisha Tyler. I'd take Aisha Tyler, to be honest with you guys. I think she'd be pretty good. I think she'd be pretty dope. Anyway, so this is what Spike Valentine. Okay, let's stop for a quick second there. If you're going to run a petition that is not a joke petition, because this at this point in time is probably a joke petition, use your real name. My real name is Matt Jarbo. This is my face. Enjoy it. Huh? Wink. But if you sit there and hide behind a character from Cowboy Bebop or an anime avatar online, it doesn't hold as much weight. It never really does, because people out there are never going to take you seriously. They don't know if you're being real or if you're being fake. We literally have no damn idea. So my theory on that, or my suggestion to you, would be to, hey, you know what? Why don't you use your real name? But anyway, let's take a look here at what it says. The demand that Brie Larson step down and give it to somebody else who's a woman of color. So Spike writes, "We need Brie Larson to step down from her role to prove she really is an ally of social justice and ensure a gay woman of color plays the role. Let Monica, the original female and black Captain Marvel, instead of a whitewashing characters for the benefit of straight white men running Disney. She hasn't donated any money to charity other than the Motion Picture and Television Fund Foundation, and it's time for her to show she's not all talk." I love this, because this does in fact take their logic and turn it back on them, which is one of the things that you kind of have to do when dealing with the social justice left here on the internet. And I've been at this game long enough to know that this is precisely the type of wording that would be used by somebody who was wanting to kind of legitimately kneecap an actor from playing a role. Go back to Ed Skrein, originally cast as Daimyo for Hellboy, right? A British white male actor portraying a man of color character, a person of color character in the BRPD comics. And after a big fan pushback, right, Ed Skrein backed off. He rescinded the offer to the role, and they gave it to Daniel Day Kim, who was actually vocal about it, which I thought was actually kind of funny, by the way, that he was really vocal about the injustice of the casting, that the producers offered him the role and he took it. But I will say, honestly, he was one of the better parts of Hellboy, so I don't give a shit. But the point, I mean, but that is more comic accurate. And what Spike here is trying to say is that he wants it to be more comic accurate. And considering Brie Larson made the comments about men, 40-year-old white dudes reviewing Wrinkle in Time and things like that, they would rather see her put her money where her mouth is, step down from the role, of which she can't because she's contracted for the next few years, and then give it to a woman of color. And they already did technically set up Monica Rambeau in the movies. So why not? Why not? Why not do it? Why not? Why not? Well, let's see what some people are saying here. Kentucky, or name not displayed from Kentucky, who signed it, says, "We need to do more to support the LGBTP community." Okay. They are the majority of the coastal population and as such need more. I didn't read this ahead of time, so that caught me off guard. Anyway, because oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Kentucky. All right, but Cameron C here. Maybe this is a good one. I want Brie to show she's an ally to women of color and step down because she's a rich white woman and has no place where there's plenty of talented women of color. Nikki D says, do the right thing. Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran, social justice. You know, I mean, look, here's the thing. There's lots of trolls that are going to be commenting on this particular petition. And there's other YouTubers that are talking about it, saying that it's gaining momentum and trying to use it as a way to bolster their audiences to go and click on it and to sign it. But let me just be realistic here. This is a joke. Clearly, this is a joke and it's funny, but if you really want it to be taken seriously, you have to take it seriously. It's not that it's going to have a direct impact, but the idea there is not about kind of going for the head if we're going to be talking about infinity word jargon here. The idea is ultimately that you want to cause a conversation to take place. You want people on the social justice left to then turn their attention towards Brie Larson and go, yeah, wait a minute. You are an ally, you claim, so why don't you step down and let somebody else come in and take the place? And we're seeing this right now, even in our presidential election, with people like Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders being asked questions about representation of people of color and saying that there are some great people that are running for president that could do a good job, and then asking the question, well, why don't you step down in order to give them a shot? This is a problem when you deal with the left, when the left deals in these kind of absolutes, when it gets turned on them, when that mirror gets flipped around and they got to look themselves in the eye. They're like, oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to do that, because that's kind of what's going to happen here. Brie Larson is not a bad person for turning this down, but she should pay attention to what people are saying and how it is a direct reflection of her own rhetoric, as a direct reflection of how she wants to approach her activism. And I get that she openly says she's got a platform and this is something she wants to do. And this is something she wants to put forward. And I get that. And I'm not against that by any stretch of the imagination. We live in a free society. You can promote what you want to promote. And that's how I view it. However, when you kind of live by the sword, you're going to kind of die by the sword on this one. And when it's a sword of social justice, that blowback is way worse. It's way, 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 way worse. So I do give credit to Spike Valentine for carefully crafting this type of petition. But what you have to realize is those who are going to be talking about it, those that are going to be pushing it as an agenda, thinking that they're going to actually have a shot at making this a reality, are going about it the wrong way. You want to present it in a way that is an actual conversation starter. Go off, don't just sit there and go, everyone on the West Coast or on the coastal cities are all gay or lesbian. It's funny, but it's not going to get the conversation across, and people are going to be able to pick that apart. You want to have airtight arguments. You want to have complete arguments that cannot be broken down, and then argue about it from the marketplace of ideas. If a person like Brie Larson is going to use her time in the spotlight to advocate for these issues, which is fine, she can do it, even though she does it clumsily 9 times out of 10. She's got to be willing to be prepared for the inevitable backlash, because if there's one group of people out there that hate white feminists, women of color who are feminists, they hate them. I have covered that for years. They hate them. The feminist civil war riles itself up at least once or twice a year, depending on the subject. And Brie Larson will one day find herself in that spotlight. And this particular petition could actually have that opportunity to make that particular spotlight be shined on her. But if you treat it like it's a joke, it's not going to be seen as that. Because the social justice left, they live in an echo chamber, and they're not going to let it penetrate or let it get anywhere if it's not presented in the right fashion. So anyway, listen, I think this is funny. It's not going to work, but it's funny. And that's the truth of it. Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions, let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.